Today I am trying to address an ant problem at my new hive. I'm a relatively new beekeeper, so I wanted to share the advice that I got and what I've learned. First of all, we don't want to put any chemicals or pesticides in our hives. So we got some advice, and I want to show you the supplies that we got. As you can see, it's ground cinnamon and regular petroleum jelly. And of course we got kitchen utensil there to use with the petroleum jelly. We've got our gloves. I'm fully suited up. I decided not to use smoke today because we're not opening anything up, but I fully expect the guard bees to get a little upset when I'm at the front of the hive. So I want to protect myself. But I'm going to try to reach around with the spatula there and not have too much exposure and upset the bees too much. So we'll see how that goes. So one thing I want to show is what kind of what kind of ant problems we're having at the hive. So I don't know if you can see there, but there's only just a couple of little tiny sugar ants, and they seem to be having some activity at the queen excluder. These are not really that much of a concern. You can see we have an extra opening in this hive. This is an old Texas beekeeper's trick to allow the foraging bees to come in and out of the hive without having to go through the whole body. But the ants don't seem to be especially accessing the hive at that point. But again, these are not really ants to be of a major concern. The reason we did get concerned was because we saw fire ant activity around the front base of the hive at our last inspection. I'm getting over here near the guard bees, so they may get a little agitated without any smoke. But honestly, and to my excitement, I don't see any fire ant activity now, whereas they were very active before. So that's an excellent sign. I was very concerned that I might show up today, one day later, and see even more activity, and instead it looks like the bees have done a darn good job on their own. These are super hardy bees. They're not bred to be the most gentle, although they are relatively gentle, but they're more importantly, the priority of breeding in these bees is a hive that requires no chemicals and pesticides. All right, so here we go with the advised activity, which is to get petroleum jelly, which insects don't like to cross, and simply smear it around the base board of the hive. And I don't know exactly how much you're going to use. I thought I was going to have a big problem, and I bought 2 tubs. 1 tub of jelly cost $2. So I figured if I slap 2 tubs worth on it, big deal, no problemo. So I'm just going to continue that process, and then I'll sprinkle cinnamon all around the outside of that on the ground. All right, I'm done with that step. I have a grassy spatula. The guard bees did get a little upset. I want to show you I've got about half of a tub of this $2 13 ouncer still left, and I've put a pretty good layer around the back, bottom, and sides. And of course the front doesn't touch the ground on all sides, but I tried to protect the little part that did pretty well. And just a real slight smear on the very front of that bottom board. It's not against the ground, but I figured that would be a popular path. Now, all that we need to do is take the cinnamon, much more expensive than the petroleum jelly, and sprinkle it around the base. So that's all I'm going to do next. Okay, the cinnamon sprinkle ring is done. It actually didn't take as much cinnamon as I thought, probably 1/3 of that thing of cinnamon. That's a little 1.87 ounce thing of cinnamon. One thing I noticed is one bee is really distraught by the petroleum jelly. She's working out at that. This bee here is a fat drone that's checking out the cinnamon. Maybe got some in its mouth, seems a little agitated. But overall, everything else around the hive is as if I haven't been here. Again, the bees did get a little agitated with this, but for the most part, they're going in and out. They're bringing pollen in and out. They're not overly involved. I think they're checking out the petroleum jelly a little bit, but hopefully this helps keeps all kinds of insects from coming in and out of their hive, and they can give more of their energy to making honey for me.